I like it. It's all right. I can't complain.
Hello, folks.
Hola.
Today,
Hola.
tonight, we have some other people probably joining us late. They said some people unfortunately could not find this beer, and what we're looking at is Shipyard Pumpkinhead.
Woo!
A number of people wanted to join. They looked around, could not find it.
Well, us too. Well, myself and Nate from New England in Massachusetts obviously can find this beer, and it seems to be every year what people talk about and they drink all the time in New England. It's
Yeah.
probably the number one selling beer at the moment in New England. I have to imagine that.
I just did it again. I did the pry cap, and I forgot all of the Shipyard beers are twist caps.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah, if I
Forgot
have
about
it.
that. And even their really high level craft beers like Double Old Thumper or Twist Caps. Same thing with Unibrow of Canada. They make all those real top-notch beers, but they're all Twist Caps.
Yeah, right.
Now John wanted to join us. He bought the beer and he was like, "I got my beer," and then he said, "Oh wait, I forgot I had to go on I had to do something. He had to do something." So I was like, "Oh," and then Paul called me today from Texas. Could not find it. He found Smash Pumpkin, but he couldn't find Pumpkinhead. And then
Yeah, it's a little different. The smash.
Tanya found it, but she's trying to get over here from work. Okay, so she said, I don't know what's going to happen. And then same thing with Eric, of Southern California. He was going to.
Yep.
Now you said this beer that I bought at Trader Joe's in Baton Rouge Sunday is the same beer, and I think you're right.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's got to be. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of similarities with the way that the labeling is done. And Kennebunkport, Maine, is right next door to Portland, Maine.
Yeah, and it's the Federal Jack's Brew Pub, which is owned by Trader Joe's.
That's right.
It's owned by Shipyard, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah, the Federal Jack's Brewhouse is where the Shipyard brand got its start. They tried making all of these just like a normal brew pub would. They try to make their own beers and experiment and see what people like and keep doing it, and it became a big enough venture that they wanted to go into it full time. So there's Shipyard in a brief.
Yeah. And now they have these little brew pub restaurants all around the country, like in Florida too. They call them Sea Dog. They make the Sea Dog brand.
Yes, that's right. They did acquire Sea Dog a number of years ago.
And we get those down here, and we get the KBC, which is Kennebunkport Brewing, which is through Trader Joe's and maybe some other outlets. And then we get the Shipyard beers. And have either one of you guys ever had the Old Thumper?
I must have at the brewery. I just cannot recall.
It's in a book I have called 300 Beers to Have Before You Die.
Really?
It originated in England, but it's brewed in America under contract with Shipyard. And there's a Double Old Thumper.
That's a barley wine, right?
Yeah, it's 11.9%.
Wow.
Jeff Lyons and I did a video, but it was like so strong. We drank that whole thing on the video, and it was like
I felt it afterwards. Yeah.
Oh man, it's great though. It's like tremendously good. Now,
awesome. To try to find that.
All right, now we have myself in Louisiana, and we get a lot of these beers. This is like the big pumpkin beer down here, right?
Yeah, it's probably the biggest one in the country. Got to imagine if you can find it.
And then we've got Nate, Kay, and Eric up there in New England and Massachusetts. And other people, like I said, could not find the beer. Lee Poznansky in New York City is like, I cannot find this beer. And I'm like, that is so craziness. Now, I think Nate froze up, but he'll be back.
Oh, no, Nate's right there.
Okay, for a second it looked like... Now, the head was thick, but then it died away like typical fruit beer, vegetable beer.
I have a really, really, really thin, narrow-brimmed glass, so it doesn't work with head at all.
I got my Sam Adams Boston Lager glass.
I just have this...
The head looks dead on yours, Nate.
It is totally dead.
Oh, well.
It's made with... Now, the argument was that it was not made with real pumpkin, but it is made with pumpkin something.
Little something, something? No, wait a minute, that's a different beer.
The essence of pumpkin. But it is real pumpkin, but it has artificial flavors, too. They tell you right there on the bottle. It's not like they're hiding something. And
natural flavor added. Yep.
Yeah, 4.5% alcohol. That's so sessionable.
Says on their website 18 IBUs. So it's not too bad at all.
Okay, natural flavor. So I can't say it's artificial. Excuse me. I apologize to Shipyard. Yeah, here on the website, it's saying it was introduced in 1996. It was first bottled in 2002. It's available in the fall season, August to November. The malts are pale ale malt, whole wheat. Oh, a wheat beer. Munich light malt. It's ale yeast and English ale yeast, and the hops are Willamette and Saffir. Saffir, same ones used in Beck Sapphire.
Exactly. Yep, that's right.
So
It's gotta make it nice and light and sessionable and easy to drink for people that aren't really too crazy about a lot of crafty beers.
yeah,
That's what I'm thinking about that.
I know y'all have had this before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a lot of this. I'm not one of those guys that's crazy runs out to get this. I like the Smashed, but I haven't really had this one in a while. So good to examine it.
13 years it's been in bottles, so, and it's also in cans too, but I don't ever see the cans. You may see.
Yeah.
I do not.
I don't think I've given the cans, actually.
I guess there's not much. You have not either?
No.
I guess there's not much to say about the appearance except it's orange like a pumpkin and it has no head and no lacing, essentially.
Yeah, it's a deep, dark golden color when you hold it up to the light. It's almost like a Euro pale lager almost in a way. But if you look at it out of the light, it's more orangey color.
Definitely has an orange tint. There's no doubt about it. It's
Definitely heavily
spicy. It reminds me of Cost Plus World Market. I don't know if you have those stores up there, but if you go in Cost Plus, they have all these spiced brooms and things, you know.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I don't know what you think of that place, but it's not a bad aroma. Okay, let's go with the New England guys first. What do y'all think about the aroma?
What's going on over there in the land of Nate?
The land of Nate. Yeah.
In the land of Nate. How's it going?
You know what? I think probably why, I mean, everybody in New England goes kind of nuts around October and September about pumpkin spice this, that. It's when our coffee chain switches over to pumpkin spice coffee, and
Dunkin' Donuts.
it just goes downhill from there. But and this is on tap pretty much anywhere in the Boston area right now. It'd be like very few bars will not have this beer on tap at the moment. I think probably its main appeal has got to be its aroma, because you have all of that pumpkin-y kind of nice kind of not overwhelming spicy flavor, or sorry, spicy aroma. And because the IBUs are very low, you don't really have a bunch of hops up in your face too either. So.
Yeah, I would. My thought on the aroma would be exactly what Nate said, but the only difference I would say from what Nate was saying about how the main part of the beer, I mean, maybe not the main part of the beer, but you do get the notion that it is a pumpkin-y spiced kind of a beer with the nutmeg and the cinnamon and those kind of sweet bready notes. But I just seem to see as well that it has that's a pretty clean smelling beer. It's pretty faint aroma, but everything is still there to remind you it's a pumpkin beer. Maybe some brown bread, yeah, I guess brown bread crust, yeah.
I can get that.
Now let me see what I can make of it.
Light.
You get the spices, okay, but they're not like super strong. Like, you know, my big complaint with pumpkin beers is that some of them are just like drinking and eating a mouthful of spices, and it's not too pleasant. It just, they're not bad, but like, here's one that's going to cause controversy. People always saying, oh, pumpkin is it is everything. Oh no, it's not. Pumpkin is too spicy. It's just, yeah, it's an excellent beer. I mean, I'll give it an A-, but I would rather drink this. And you might say, oh, you're just weak because pumpkin is what, 10% or 9%?
Something like that, 9 or 8.
Not the alcohol. It's not the alcohol that bothers me. Is people know that from watching my videos. It's the flavor, and but anyway, I get some of that kind of characteristic thing that you get with Shipyard. They have a distinctive aroma and flavor, and I can't pin it down, but it's got to be from those. I don't know. It's just something. There's something about it's like they have a house.
I've noticed that a lot of these Shipyard beers have like almost like I think in in the actual beer industry, they would call it a diacetyl flavor, which is almost like that sweet, buttery, almost like a buttered popcorn kind of a scent or flavor.
Yeah.
It almost has those kind of flavors going on
It's
in a lot of their
almost,
beers.
it's almost like universally appealing.
In a way, some people find that that's an off flavor to beers, but other people might actually really like that.
Lagers at least, but it's got a it's like a bread, like a dough type thing,
Yes.
you know. It's dough, right? Like
Yep.
wheat dough, or even the nut bread, maybe pecan bread or something. It's really strange, but
It's kind of yeasty too, yeah.
it's really, it's bready and spicy. It's just really balanced. And the funny thing is, I'm not talking about pumpkin, am I?
Right.
Pumpkin, though, really, if you buy pumpkin pulp to put in a pie, you know, the canned stuff, doesn't really have a whole lot of aroma and flavor. I mean, you can smell pumpkin and taste it, but it's not like a super strong. It's a type of gourd or a squash. I guess that's why they add a lot of spices to pumpkin pie, or it would taste like nothing, you know.
Exactly.
Like they make mirlitons down. Well, they don't make mirliton. Mirliton grows in the ground. They make mirliton casserole. I think mirliton pie, but they add a lot of spices to it, like cayenne pepper and all, because it just would not taste like anything. They even have they used to have the Mirliton Festival in New Orleans. I don't know if they still do. You ever heard of those?
No.
They call them Chavots in France, but you can buy them. But it's similar to that, like it's so neutral in the flavor that they have to add things to it.
Right. I'm not noticing, as we drink this beer, I'm not really noticing a bunch of like stereotypical, and I think that may be just the beer style. I'm not really noticing, at first impression, stereotypical kind of beer flavors like malt or hops or grains or any kind of thing like that. You're just basically noticing those cinnamon, nutmeg, spiced kind of brown bread kind of flavors to it. Maybe a little yeasty. Maybe that's the beer flavor I'm kind of getting. Maybe like you were saying with the dough kind of a flavor.
There is pumpkin, and pumpkin has sort of like that vegetable juice thing going there, like citric acid type thing, and it has that, and it has, I think that dough thing we keep talking about is sort of like pie crust.
Yeah, maybe like the graham cracker or something.
There's
Hey, it's Tanya. Hello.
Tanya, I hope you didn't get too stressed out trying to get home to do this. Take a deep breath.
I
made it.
You didn't get too stressed out trying to get over here, did you?
No, actually, I was very zen in the car. The last 10 minutes when I sent that note, I was in the checkout line, and then I got stressed out. But now I'm here and I have a beer, so it's good.
Sweet.
Is that a big bottle of Shipyard?
Yeah.
What is that?
No, this is the only one they had, so hopefully it's the right kind.
Actually, that's Shipyard Smash Pumpkin. We're doing Pumpkinhead, but that's okay because that's like the super strong version.
I got a year-old version waiting in the beer cellar.
For the win, oh yeah, 9%.
Yeah,
That beer is so good.
The one we're drinking is 4.5, but okay.
You'll like the Smash Pumpkin, trust me.
Everybody says that, Tanya. They say, well, Pumpkinhead's okay, but you can't beat the Smash Pumpkin. But I think it's been so long since I had that one. Now let's see. I'm gonna try to look that one up. Let's see.
It's amazing.
I thought that they would have the pumpkin head, and so they didn't have they didn't have it in 6-pack. So I saw the big bottle, grabbed it, and ran.
Not a problemo.
I don't think that in New England it's really much more than like $5 or $6. Pretty good deal for what you get.
One?
Yeah.
Tanya, listen to this. If you go to Trader Joe's, they've got a KBC pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
It's $5.99 a 6-pack, and that's pretty much the same as the Shipyard Pumpkinhead, so you can get a deal on that. Now let's look at the malt bill on the Smash Pumpkin. 2-row British Pale Ale, malted wheat, light Munich. So it's a little different, but it's the top fermenting English yeast, and it's Willamette and Saffron hops. So it's the same hops.
Yeah, you know what? It actually says here to enjoy this at 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is almost the same temperature as you're supposed to drink red wine, which I think is recommended at 57. So that's interesting to me.
Now, have you ever had the Pumpkinhead, the original one from 1996 that we're drinking?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you have a Trader Joe's close to you?
I do.
So if you get a chance, go in there and get that KBC beer, because it's basically a different label on the Pumpkinhead sold through Trader Joe's, because it's the same everything, you know. But
that's their contract group.
But back to this, and then we'll talk about the Smash Pumpkin. I need to do a little, and that Smash Pumpkin was a twist cap, wasn't it?
This is good.
Twist cap, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I get one every year, and I try to age it for a year.
Okay, so back to what we were saying. Then we're going to go to Tiny. It's got, like, it is not over-spiced.
It's very light beer oriented.
Yeah, right. It's like, it has, like, Pabst Blue Ribbon elements to it, but, you know, I mean, that's like a shake. But you know what I'm saying?
Like, type malt as well, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got, like, almost a corn, but I know it, well, it could be because it's a natural flavor, but it can't be corn. But
I don't think they use corn in their beers, but to me it has a pretty nice prickly carbonation and a mouthfeel to it.
Yes. What do you think, Nate?
I can agree with that. You know, I think it's worth mentioning too that since it is available in pretty much, I mentioned before, it's available everywhere in New England on tap, pretty much at any bar. Almost any bar in New England right now. That usually many of the bars will also, since the flavor is so mild, they'll coat the rim of the cup with like sugar.
I can't do that. No.
That's something that they, you know, sometimes they do it without even asking. So
yeah.
Sugar, huh? And maybe what's that stuff that people do that challenge with, where they try to put a mouthful in?
Yeah, there might be a little bit of cinnamon on it too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the finish is pretty.
It's dry. It's dry.
Yeah, and it's drinkable. I mean, this beer is like super drinkable, and it's not overly done. It's not too spicy. It's not too too pumpkin. It's not too anything. It's just mellow. So if you're looking for something that's like ultra spiced up and all of that, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Something mild, mellow, drinkable, and just like would appeal to a wide audience. This is for you, and I guess that's why it's a top. And some other pumpkin beers that are really great is the Buffalo Bills, which we don't get anymore, but I saw Tanya doing that one.
I don't think we
That's
get
my favorite.
Buffalo Bills, the original pumpkin beer.
Really?
I saw some
It's
other
the
ones
best.
coming today. Post Road pumpkin beer, you know, from Brooklyn.
Yes.
That came in the store today, and I said, oh, yeah, that's a good one, because it's the same thing. Like, Post Road is not overdone. What's some other, well, we're not going to go through them. But final thoughts on this, and then I want to hear Tanya. My final thoughts is I really like it. I like it more every time I drink it. Like, when I first had it, I didn't like it. It was, like, offended me. It had wax. Maybe they changed it. It seemed like it used to have a waxy. It was like candle wax, but that's gone. That's not.
Yeah, I can understand where you might go with that statement with like a candle waxy thing. You know what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be with Tanya on the other side of the country. I would rather drink Smash Pumpkin, but then again, if you're looking for that beer that's gonna be easily, obtainable, easy to drink, not be confrontational, appeal to a wide mass of people that may not enjoy the bold and complex flavors that an Imperial Pumpkin beer might have, then this is an award-winning beer and a way to go on that. I think that my only real complaint, besides a little bit light in all of its flavors, is maybe it's just a little bit too crisp in the carbonation, but other than that, it's okay. I don't know if I would buy it again, but it does not bother me at all to drink it.
Hey, do you think that crisp finish is why I brought up something like Miller High Life or Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Oh, I can see that with the High Life now that you say that, yeah. Exactly.
But of course, those are lagers, this is an ale, yada, 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 as they say on TV. But you know, you get my drift, right?
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, that makes good sense. I just said that. Yeah.
Oh, and here's another one I'll suggest. If you ever get the Wasatch Black O-Lantern, that pumpkin stout, get it.
Pumpkin stout.
Sounds
Oh yeah, I saw it at the store today. I mean, it's about 8% alcohol, but it's really great. All right, Nate, what's your final thought on this Pumpkinhead?
Well, so I bought this actually a while ago. So this is actually aged a little bit.
Ooh, whoa.
Yeah, it's a tiny bit aged. It's like maybe about a month.
Okay.
And then I bought it back mid-September. I tasted. I had one back then in September, and I think my taste kind of adjusts to the season somehow, because I really could not stand it back in September for whatever reason. I just absolutely couldn't.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, but you know what? Right now it's October, so I guess my mindset has changed a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was close to it's still in the high 70s, low 80s in September when you bought it in Massachusetts.
Yeah, this is comfortable right now. It's like maybe in the 50s, upper 40s right now outside probably.
It's fall officially.
And this is nice. It's just it's tasty. I like the spices and everything. So.
Point of reference, it was 88 today here.
Right, I was just thinking that. I grabbed my phone. It's 81 right now here.
Right. So, okay. When I first had this beer, I think I rated it a C. I was really very critical of it, but like with most beers, the more I drink on it, the more I like it. So, like John Sharon says, and I say this too, and it's not really possible, right? Someone called this a chick beer. Yeah, I'd go along with that. But what I'm saying is, the only way to really review a beer correctly is to do 5 reviews. But imagine how involved that would be. And John Sharon says, all right, you got to drink them 5 times. This business that we do here, where we drink it once and we give a rating, you know, come on, that's kind of a bunch of bull, really. But that's what we. I mean, it is what we do. It's like you drink it once.
It's an initial impression. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like we're kind of like the what's that company that does car surveys? The initial impression, J.D. Powers.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like J.D. Powers beer ratings. You know, the initial impression. But that's why I stole that idea from Chad's beer reviews of doing revisits, going back a year or 2 or 3 years later and trying it again and seeing how you think about it later, because that's always an interesting thing. And then the examinations give me an excuse to drink it again and try to act like it's not a review. Okay, now Tanya, what do you think about this Smash Pumpkin, the amped up version?
Hold on, I have a question. So I was looking online, and it says that the Pumpkinhead is it's a wheat beer. Where did I read that?
Yeah. It has wheat in it. But I wouldn't know if it's exactly what you call a wheat beer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I made that up. I'm sorry. Malt style whole wheat. Okay.
Yes. That's right.
But I'm looking at the picture, like I flip back and forth between the tabs, and the Pumpkinhead is pretty light in color, while the Smash Pumpkin is pretty dark.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And so you were saying that the flavor is very light. It's not super spicy. It's not overly pumpkin-y.
No, it has a waxy undertaste though.
Yes.
Mouthfeel, but it's not as heavy as it seemed like it used to be. And you know, when Pumpkinhead first came out, it was 5.1% alcohol, and they've dropped it to 4.5%. So that's a change right there.
That's interesting. I last year did. And it didn't make it onto my reviews because I didn't actually start doing video review. There you go. I didn't start doing video reviews.
Gold medal winner 2015. Okay, you didn't start doing
I didn't start video reviews until about a month after, but I bought like 10 different pumpkin beers, and I tried them all. And I really determined that I don't like most of them. That it seems like they're just trying to prove something, you know, like everything becomes pumpkin spice. Flavored. So to that note, now I'm very curious about Pumpkinhead. I feel like trying it. Because it's nice to have just a beer that's drinkable that has a little hint of a flavor.
Yeah.
This Pumpkinhead, no, what is this? What am I drinking?
Smashed pumpkin.
Smashed pumpkin.
It's so good.
It's intense. Like, it's super spicy. It has a really intense aftertaste. I don't hate the aftertaste, but I get like this spicy, cinnamony burn almost. And so part of that's alcohol content, part of that's flavor, I think.
I would agree with that statement, yes.
So you have to very specifically be looking to have a spiced beer, I think, in order to enjoy the smashed pumpkin. Like,
yeah, and
it's like the alcoholic version of apple cider.
And you know, Tanya, it's using wheat in it. It's using the pale ale malt 2-row, a better, you know, higher quality malt than the 6-row, and it's using light Munich malt. So it's got light, you know, it's pale malt in the wheat, you know, the barley and the wheat. And then they're adding the same exact hops as the original Pumpkinhead, but it's just made to have a good amount more bitterness, 26 IBU as opposed to 18. But Eric and Nate, she may not even pick up that 26 because it's got such high alcohol. They might have to put that.
Yeah, I think
bitterness.
What is that?
Yeah, just make it to where it's not stomach turning sweet.
Yeah, I think Tanya said it perfectly, where she thought that the alcohol maybe provided its own kind of a flavor into that smashed pumpkin, and that's exactly what I like about the smashed pumpkin versus a lot of just really lower ABV beers, is that you get that alcohol more from the presence that works nicely with some of the spices. Hello, children.
They're too young
Hi,
to
children.
approve of this beer, but
They're pumpkins, but they can't drink pumpkin beer.
There's our Southern California fellow. Now, what do you think about Pumpkinhead? Hello, kids. What do you think about Pumpkinhead?
oh my
I
gosh.
think he's a pumpkinhead.
Very well put.
That was an honest review.
From the mouth of babes.
Better than other things they could have said. Now,
Okay, so initially, do you have a glass that I could use real quick? The first thing I get is instantly I can get like a kind of pumpkin spice note in the nose immediately, which is not over surprising at all. My first sip,
Now, Eric, have you had this before?
I have never had this beer before.
Oh, good. That's interesting.
Oh wow! So it's very reminiscent of me of like a pumpkin spice tea, to be honest. I mean, it's very much. I mean, tastes like typical pumpkin spice tea that I could get. Honestly, it's very, very, very pumpkin spiced. Very smooth, malty, no real hops that I can taste at all.
Yeah. It's 8 international bitterness units.
Light pale color, very moderate lacing. Very smooth, like very, very drinkable. Even though it has that pumpkin spice flavor, it's not super overpowering either.
Right.
But it is very present. It's actually, the more I drink it, the less it's powerful the pumpkin spice flavor really is, and the more I actually like it. Once it kind of came to my palate, it doesn't seem so over the top pumpkiny, and I'm getting more of the beer and less of just like almost a tea flavor, I suppose.
You know, I'm actually glad he didn't join us earlier because he's drinking this beer, right? So he didn't even watch what we were doing. I don't think you were watching, were you?
No, I was not.
All right, so he wasn't watching us, and he's describing almost exactly what we were talking about.
Exactly.
So that's telling us that we're not idiots, you know, like because he's coming in there blind and he's giving it the same description. So what now?
Yeah, I really like it actually. The more I drink it, the more I enjoy it. Honestly, it is. You know, it almost reminds me very much of like a pilsner. You know, it's a very light beer. It's not at all like a stout or anything. It's a light beer, but it has that like pumpkin edge to it that actually kind of rounds it out. the more I drink it, the more I actually appreciate it. At first, I was like, oh, this is almost a little too gimmicky, but no, actually, I'm really it's coming on to me.
Now wait a minute, Eric. It is a twist cap. It is a twist cap because look at the bottle cap.
I tried every kind of thing to open the second bottle of the beer with my hand, and it would not come off by hand.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I've had a lot of twist caps where I almost broke my arm trying to get the cap off.
I see what you're saying about that, though. It has those little ridges in it.
Yeah,
But
correct.
somebody that I will not be naming for obvious reasons here from some beer reviewing programs was trying to tell me that even the Smash Pumpkin that comes in the 4-packs now are in twist tops, and it's a terrible thing to be drinking beers out of twist tops because that ruins the beer's flavor over time or something like that.
God, stop. Serious?
Oh yeah, right. That's right. But yet that same person will put a video up for Unibrow, Modit, and talk about, Modit, it was so great. Well, wait a minute. That's a twist cap. No, it's not. Look at it. Oh, well, never mind. So, yeah, I'm all right, Eric. It's like, come on, man. That should not make a difference.
So
I don't believe that. I would like somebody to show me scientifically that that's true. I don't believe that.
I think the only time that might be a difference is if they use the alcohol-absorbing lids. And I don't think I've ever seen them in a twist-off version. So if they're claiming that they're using alcohol-absorbing lids, then maybe I would buy that. But otherwise, I call
Shenanigans.
Correct.
Yes, that was exactly the word I was looking for.
Shenanigans.
I call shenanigans on that.
Correct. So Eric, we're going to let Tanya tell us about Smash Pumpkin, and then we're going to give our final thoughts and tell us if we would buy it again. So Tanya, go.
Go, yeah. When I smell it, it smells a lot like chai tea, and it's actually even sticky on the rim, which I think is interesting. So Smash Pumpkin.
Stuff is so good.
I completely agree. Sorry.
I think it's a little aggressively spiced, but I think that if it weren't, that the underlying beer flavor might not support what they're doing. So that seems mixed, I suppose, but I think it's a really hearty beer. And I was reading on the back, it says, pairs well with sharp cheese, nuts, lamb, hearty stews. It sounds as though they made it to be a pretty aggressive beer and to have a really forward flavor and to be paired with things that are intense. And so I think that in that respect, they've done a really good job. It's a really good beer. It leaves a good taste. And it's 9% alcohol by volume, and so you're drinking it and don't realize until you start talking too much, like right now, that it's 9% alcohol. So good job with that.
You drank that whole bottle. You drank that whole bottle. You're gonna realize it. And
exactly.
Wait, you say yours is 9%?
Yeah, she got the Smash Pumpkin, which is the imperial version of our beer.
Yeah, I picked up the wrong one.
She got the super.
I got the big boy.
She got the better beer. Oh, that's what
Oh, and I'm gonna tell you this,
I
Tanya. If you ever see the double Old Thumper, it's 11. What is it? 11.5% or something like that.
7.5 or 6, I think.
That's
yeah.
devastating. It's awesome. It's like a barley wine. It's really called an English strong ale.
Yeah.
Believe me. I don't know how tall you are, but I have a feeling you would pass out. You really need to drink it with a partner.
I can hold it.
All right, you say so. But anyway.
Double Thumper. Wow. Yeah, because I've accidentally consumed like large bottles. I mean, this isn't the same volume as a bottle of wine. But I've accidentally consumed large volumes of beer that were high alcohol, and at the end of the night I was like, what is going on? And I went and looked at the bottle and I was like, oh, that was a single beer drink I should have shared with somebody.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I have a Smash Pumpkin at home that I labeled back in 2014 on the bottle, so I'm wondering, and when I drink it, I think I labeled it November of next month is going to be a year. I'm wondering what the Smash Pumpkin is going to taste like in a year with some age on it. I'm wondering how much of the Pumpkin flavor is actually going to be retained.
So are you aging one?
Yes.
Good
Next
for you.
month will be a year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see that.
I'll do a review on that. Absolutely.
Tag me in it when you post it, because I want to watch that. I have a hard time aging beers because, you know, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to go to the store. I don't need beer tonight. And then I sit down and I go, I really want a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they call it smash because they know that if you drink it, you'll get smashed.
They also
yeah.
make a smashed blueberry.
Ah, yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Final thoughts.
Not as good.
My final thoughts on I'm drinking Coors Banquet right now, but which actually in some ways has in some ways it has a bolder flavor than Shipyard Pumpkinhead, believe it or not. But my final thoughts on the Pumpkinhead is I like it. Every time I drink it, I like it more than the previous time. I would definitely buy it again, and I'm very curious. I'm almost so curious that I might not even be able to handle it. I might do it tomorrow. Do a video of the KBC pumpkin beer to see how similar it is. I would definitely buy it again. No reservations about that. Eric and Nate.
Hold 2 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry, because I know your opinion on Buffalo Bills, how do you compare this to Buffalo Bills?
Good question.
Almost as good.
Almost.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills is like the best, man.
Right. I mean, I feel like it's the standard by which we should measure all pumpkin ale.
Yeah, they do great. I mean, but I can't find it, so I'm stuck with Pumpkinhead. But I'm glad to be stuck with it. It's fine. Now,
Okay.
hey, but it's like this Coors Banquet. I would rather drink Coors Extra Gold. But I think I could find gold easier if I went digging in the ground than find Coors Extra Gold Lager.
You gotta pan. Gold is panning.
Well, if you find the extra gold, it's only going to be in a 30 rack, I bet, or 30 pack.
I'd buy that 30 pack so fast it would make your head spin.
Right.
All right.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Coors Extra Gold is like a white whale. Now, Nate and Eric, would y'all buy this again?
I've done it pretty much season after season at least once. I just can't have it in the summertime.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they put these beers out in like July. It's like that's inappropriate for the summer season to drink a pumpkin beer. Come on.
It's definitely not a summer beer.
But I don't really have anything really all that negative to say about Pumpkinhead. I think I'm just more in the camp of if I want to drink a pumpkin beer or if I want to drink a flavored beer, I kind of like more the Imperial style where I get a little bit more bolder and dynamic flavors. But if I'm at a Halloween party, since Halloween's on a Friday, I might bring some of this stuff.
No, it's on Saturday. Saturday.
That's right. Even better. I have brought the Smash Pumpkin to the party, and people seem to really like that were not even craft beer fans. But I don't think I would personally seek out this beer again, but I really don't have any reservations to why it would be a bad beer to drink. So I'll give it a thumb up out of 2.
Yeah, plus it's got the Headless Horseman on it.
Exactly, yeah, it's cool.
Can't go wrong with that.
Okay, now Eric.
So I like it. I really do like it. The more I've drank of it, the more I've appreciated it. And like I said, it is the first time I ever had this. And it took me a second, and I'm enjoying more and more the crisp finish of it. I do kind of although Tony was talking about a different beer, I also kind of noticed almost like hints of chai. There's something I felt right at the beginning, but I didn't want to say it. It sounds stupid, but the more I drink it, the more I kind of feel I get those same hints of chai as well.
Yeah.
So I mean I like it. It's probably the closest beer I've ever had to drinking a cup of tea. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I like it. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably buy it again for a seasonal event. If I was going to go to a Halloween party, this would be a great beer to bring. But just for an everyday beer, I probably wouldn't buy it mostly only because it's $12. 6-pack.
$12.
Yeah, it was $9.99 in my area, and it's local beer to me basically.
Yeah, it's $7.99 here.
Wow.
Which is another reasoning to buy the Kenny Bunkport Pumpkin Ale at
$5.99. It's $5.99 if you buy the Trader Joe's version.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, even
I'm gonna go try that.
Oh, definitely buy it. What now?
I would buy this on the regular if it was $7.99. I mean, for that, I think it's a really good price. I would pick it up just any given time, but $12 for a 6-pack is a little much.
Oh yeah.
I mean, unless you buy something really, really amazing.
Oh right. Now Tanya.
Yeah.
Yeah, that loud thing.
You're like an art experiment over there in your house.
I'm an artist.
Well, no, this isn't my house. This is my boss's house where I've just been teaching his kid kung fu for the last hour. That's why I was late. So.
Is this a good post kung fu beer?
Yes, this is a fantastic post kung fu beer.
All right.
Now I want to hear what Tanya says about Smash Pumpkin as she's getting smashed. But murmur.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, I want to know, do you guys normally drink pumpkin beers during the fall season? Each of you?
Not necessarily. I do reviews of new ones that I run across, which seems like I'm always running across new ones.
Right.
But to say I run out and buy pumpkin beers, no, not really.
Yeah, I'm with Jay on that. Unless there's a really compelling Imperial one that people say you gotta try it. Otherwise, no, not really.
I'll say this. I eat the fool out of pumpkin pie, and I buy the whipped cream, and I put the whipped cream on the pumpkin pie, and I eat that for breakfast with 3 cups of coffee. Oh yeah, that's so gangster. That is so gangster. But it has nothing to do with beer. But I love to eat pumpkin pie with whipped cream on it. Whipped cream.
So much whipped cream that there's barely any pie. It's like pie and then whipped cream, right?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I'm not like stingy with the whipped cream. And I mean real whipped cream. I don't play around with that fake stuff.
No, not that cool.
I make my own whipped cream, okay?
I'm very dedicated to pumpkin pie. All right, now
Okay.
Tanya.
So now that I'm this far into this beer,
it's so good.
This is a good beer. It's intense, but I've heard Eric refer to it a couple times as an imperial, and I think that's probably accurate. So all of the flavor intensity that comes with it, I think, is reasonable. So it has a lot of maltiness, a lot of spice, not necessarily a lot of pumpkin. It's not. I don't feel like I'm chewing on a pumpkin per se, and a lot of alcohol. But it's good. It's good. It's spicy, and every time I take a break for a couple breaths or whatever, like all I can taste is spice. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. And I've probably criticized that in other beers in the past, but I think that criticism came from the lower alcohol, kind of lighter versions, where it was a really, I don't want to say watery, but light flavor, too much spice. And I don't think that this is like that at all. I think it's a lot of flavor and a lot of spice.
So you find they did a good job with it?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
So would you buy it again?
Yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, I feel like if I'm looking for a high alcohol content beer, pumpkin beer, that this is probably what I would go to. If I want to have like a drinkable, sessionable ale, Buffalo Bills is my go-to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the other beer that
well, let's say if you went to a Halloween party, this would be something you might bring 2 bottles of to a Halloween party.
No. By the way, hi. Here's my BFF. No, maybe I would share. I don't even know. I might just bring one and just drink it straight out of the bottle and be like, I don't know what you fools are drinking.
Miller High Life.
Yeah.
Not at my party. Yeah.
You want to get 2 bottles and share the experience.
Yeah, don't play flip cup with smashed pumpkin. No.
Drink flip cup with natural light. All right. Now,
alrighty then. Woo!
Which is something we ought to examine one night, actually.
What, flip cup?
No, natural ice. Natural light. All right, to wrap it up, next week we have an interesting beer coming up. We have Goose Island Honkers Ale, which was the first beer that Goose Island ever made in 1988.
Sweet.
4.3% alcohol, sort of like a modern classic. and I'm interested to examine that.
Absolutely.
And then the week after that, we have a very famous beer from Canada called Moosehead Lager, and it's the biggest.
Oh, wait, lager?
Moosehead Lager.
Yes, they come in the green bottles.
Yeah.
By who?
Moosehead. It's the largest.
Moosehead's the
It's the
company.
largest family-owned brewery in Canada. It's been around for over 100 years.
I'm confused with moose drool.
No.
It literally has a picture of a moose on the 12-pack box.
Yeah, Moosehead. Moosehead.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
all right.
I know that.
So we've got.
Get it. Yeah. Okay.
So we've got Goose Island, Honkers Ale, and then Moosehead coming up. And now, Tanya, the person that just walked in, what do they think about this beer? If they drank beer?
Oh yeah. Hey. So this is Rachel.
Hi.
Yeah.
Drink my dregs.
Drink your swill.
Yeah.
Swill. It's a little stronger than I don't know. It might be the same percentage as swill.
It's good. It's cinnamon.
It is very cinnamony. Yeah.
But that will fade. Now, if you keep drinking on, that will fade.
Maybe my year-old version will fade.
So they, by accident.
Oh wait, back
by
up.
my accident.
Back up. Sorry. Moosehead is the end of the month. Preceding that is Molson Canadian. Sorry, excuse me.
I
do a
changed
Canadian
that.
tour.
Yeah, a little bit of one.
Yep.
Okay, so
by my mistake, I bought this, which is so they're drinking
It's not a bad mistake.
No, I'm kind of liking it. They bought a lighter version, probably with half the alcohol.
correct.
You got 4.5%.
Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie the River to glass. Woo woo! We set a world record.
I saw that.
Anyway.
Cheers.
Not bad.
Drinkable, and I mean, so this is 9% alcohol by volume. So a typical, like, just standard ale probably is only going to have about 4.5 to 5%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not quite be so powerful in the palate.
Yeah, so think about everything you're drinking cut in half, right? So it's just that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be less intense, half the intensity, half the body, half the spiciness, half everything. But that's the way it works.
Yeah, now I feel like I need to drink. I need to go find Pumpkinhead, which apparently they don't have at Whole Foods, or they were sold out. I don't know.
Not a problem. Go, like I said, go to Trader Joe's and get the KBC.
KBC, I know for certain they have that. I bought that
when I went to Trader Joe's in Baton Rouge on Sunday, they had a whole display of it. $5.99 a six-pack. People were buying it left and right.
What it says in the new flyers they got out. Yep.
Oh, that's just like the bee's knees over there right now. So, all right. Well, this was a very rollicking and very enjoyable examination. I thought it went a little long, but sometimes there's no advantage in rushing things, I don't think. So
we're not the Canadian beer reviewers here. I mean, wait a minute.
And we're not going 4 hours. But now, so
good beer if you drink it in Niagara Falls region of Canada.
Right. So I joined those guys. Thank you, folks, for watching this. And next week is Scotland Honkers Ale, which is an English ESB. So that's going to be a different take, different experience.
Mm-hmm.